As it is often said, cliche as it may sound, you can only attract who you are. What's up YouTube? It's your girl Brenda Kimbi. I am a YouTuber filming from Cameroon. If you're watching this video today, I'll be talking about how to find the one. So I'll be spilling all the tea. But before I spill the tea, get yourself a book, a pen, and also a cup of tea, because this is going to be insightful, as we are going to also have a story time attached to this video. Until we continue, relax, be comfortable, because this is going to be an interesting one. So as I was saying, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? For all those who continue watching my videos, liking my videos, and commenting on my videos, I just want to say a big thank you for the love you always share. So finding Boaz is good, marriage is beautiful, love is an amazing feeling. But how do you go about that if you're not so sure about your choices? So one of the tips I'm going to talk about today is it's important to find yourself first before you find someone else. Why is this an important tool? This is important because in the course of knowing yourself, in the course of finding yourself, you're going to know your weaknesses, you're going to know your strengths, and you're going to know how to become better as a person. As it is often said, cliche as it may sound, you can only attract who you are, and you don't attract what you're expecting. So rather than looking for a partner, become the partner you want to see in the other person. That is important. Just become the person you want to see in the other person. In the course of you becoming the person you want to see in the other person, you will discover that you're not as perfect as you think. You also have flaws, and life is not only about the good side, because you discover that as an individual you also have some battles, you have some flaws you're definitely working on. So when you meet the other person, it's going to be easier for you to relate with that person. That is finding yourself. Another thing I'll recommend that personally worked for me was finding myself in Christ. If you're on this channel, you're going to know that I'm a firm believer of the love of God. The love of God is everything. So it's important to find yourself in Christ too, because that is going to give you like a checklist to know the kind of person you need. Because trust me, this journey of relationships and love, you don't do that alone. You definitely don't want to be on a ship that you're sailing alone. So you need an equal partner that can help you when you're down, or you can raise when you're up. So how do you raise somebody who is always down? Those are some of the things you have to think about. It is very important. And why am I saying so? Most times when I'm talking to girls, because I'm mentoring a lot of girls, they feel like it's a lot to do. Trust me, the hard work is supposed to be done before you meet the person. Because after you've met the one, after you've met Boaz, after you've met your missing rib, your loved one, and everything, it's just a continuation. You're not meeting him to begin this journey, you're meeting him to continue the journey. It's a process. So you don't want to get into the process being naive or being novice of what the process entails. So find yourself first. Find yourself as an individual. Find yourself in God, because He is the author and finisher of everything. So that is the first tip I'm going to recommend when it comes to finding the one. So talking about finding yourself and finding the one, I'm going to recommend this practical tool that is going to help you on this beautiful journey. I call it a beautiful journey because it's something so many of us are impatient to leave that journey, but to leave that season. We don't love seasons, we don't love phases, but it's important to always enjoy every journey, every moment you find yourself in as an individual. So the first thing I had to do when I was still waiting is I got myself a journal. Journaling is practical. Journaling is goals. Why a journal? Because in a day we have billions and trillions of thoughts that go through our mind. Journaling helps us to bring down those thoughts in writing. And it's for a good reason that it's written in the Bible that you should write down your vision, make it plain. You're not making it plain because somebody can read it. You're not making it plain because it's not necessary. You're making it plain so that sometime you can look back to those things you used to pray for and those things you used to wish for, and it's going to help you be like it's going to be like a guide for you. So how do I used to journal? You get a journal, any book, an agenda, a diary, whatever you call it, but it's called journaling. And you now write your week. That's the journal should be about finding yourself. You can do things like writing your strengths in the journal. You can do things like writing your weaknesses. Trust me, this was given to me by this YouTuber. She's on YouTube, Tosin Alabi. And I was like, wow. She said, write down your strengths and your weaknesses. Shockingly, it sounds easy, but until you start. And when I started writing my weaknesses, I was like, wow, so I have all these weaknesses. Journaling is going to give you a reflection of what you can't confront by yourself. Journaling is it. So when you write those things down, then now you start praying for the things you know you can't handle by yourself. You start seeking advice from friends that you think can be honest. You start working on those things that you think you need to work on. For example, one of the things I discovered in the course of journaling was that I discovered that I'm not a very patient person. So journaling, I was like, wow, so I'm impatient. So you're like, okay, who are those mentors? I believe in mentorship. Who are those people who I look up to spiritually that I can talk to them about this weakness I have and how can I work towards it? So in the same journal, I started writing down scriptures related to being patient, being humble, waiting on God, trusting on God entirely, leaning on God, and it really worked for me. So it helped me in a way. It may not help you, or let me put it this way. When I was doing the exercise, I didn't really see the need for it until when I met my husband, if that will make sense. So journaling is definitely going to help you. Secondly, what I'll recommend is prayers. What you need to do, you need to pray about it. Finding yourself is an endless journey. Till we die, we continue finding ourselves. It's not as if there is a period where you're like, oh, I got it all figured out. You never get it figured out. The only thing you do is you only become better and you only age and you just enjoy the journey. So prayer helped. Prayer helped in the sense that I was able to have a force that was bigger than myself that I could be vulnerable to. So sometimes I'll just go to God in prayers and I'm just like, God, I'm too authoritative, I'm too ambitious, these are the things I have, can you just help me with these things? And trust me, behold, before I knew it, I'll come to YouTube, I'll have YouTubers dropping videos talking about such things, I'll be enlightened, I'll be having scriptures coming to my mind, I'll go to church, I'll go for Bible study and they're talking about those things. Because I had that fellowship with God, because I had that relationship, it was easier for me to be able to know when God is talking to me. It was just a glorious moment, let me put it that way. Knowing that you have a force that is bigger than yourself and you can just connect to that force and that force can help you. And that was just the power of God, the influence of God, hearing God talk to me. People will gift me books. I remember there was a book that was gifted to me by Joyce Meyer, and it really helped me on my that the whole period I was single. So prayer. I cannot overemphasize. Prayer is definitely goals. It's going to help you. The third thing I'm going to talk about is words of affirmation. Guys, as cliche as words of affirmation sound, trust me, affirming, there's something about the power of words. The truth is, we always think that words is for communication, but trust me, words is also for creation. You can use your words to create the reality you want to see in your life. I would say I'm a blessed wife, I am submissive, that was my husband. I was not even having a clue of having anybody around. I was single. Like, this is me saying those things that I could not say then. I would spend time affirming words. I'm a good wife, I'm a great wife. You say those things to yourself. Don't start saying things like, no, can I even cook? Am I even beautiful? If you're fat and you feel like you want to work out that weight, this is when you're single that you have to lose those pounds. It's when you're single that you have to lose those weight. So don't wait for when you've gotten the person. These are things that you should try to do them while waiting for that person. So words of affirmation, it builds your confidence, it makes you feel better, it makes you feel great about yourself. Looking at myself in the mirror, talking to myself, Brenda, you're going to be a great mom, you're going to be that already. gave me a clue of the kind of direction I wanted to take. The fourth thing I want to talk about is you cannot go begging for something with a lot in your hands. Whew, that was an aha moment. I don't know if you understood what I said. I got that one day. I was just siesting and then it just came to my spirit, because there's this thing we always say. We'll be like, oh, your husband is not going to come and meet you in your house, la 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 la. Oh no, it's not true. You cannot be you're in so many relationships. You're dating this one, you're dating for this one, and you're trusting God for a partner. No. I got to a point where I was not searching on Facebook. When I say searching on Facebook, it's literally like somebody will send me a message in my DM and I'm like, what is this guy up to? No, I was trusting God entirely. So when you go looking for something, imagine somebody wants to give you something in your hands and you already have things full in those hands. The person cannot give you something. So you have to get rid of all those things. Things as in people, distractions, all those things. Don't say, let me just go to a club. Man, you ever know, if you meet up with on team. I'm from Cameroon. It's a way of saying, like, let me just go out. You never know, you can meet somebody. No. Just be yourself. Continue finding yourself. Somebody will definitely meet you in the course of finding yourself. So these are some of the things. It's not like, oh, okay, you're praying God, you're trusting God, you're believing in yourself, and then at the same time, you're toasting this one, you're giving green light to this one, yellow light to this one, orange light to this one, blue light to this one. No. You are being in a place of rest, trusting God entirely, no anxiety, just trusting God and believing that He is definitely going to do this for you. Guys, I'm feeling so inspired doing this video. I just want to keep going on and on and on. But what I just want to say is, with journaling, prayers, words of affirmation, trusting on God entirely, this is goals. It's going to get you to that place of certainty. Lastly, I'll be talking about the fifth point. I'll be talking about is purpose, finding purpose. You know, when I was listening to the story of Boaz, like Boaz is like the pivot when it comes to relationship stories in the Bible. What took me by surprise is the fact that Ruth was working in the farm when Boaz met her. when I read that verse, I'm going to drop the scripture when I was doing this video. Like, I was like, wow, like Boaz met Ruth working. Working does not mean having a 9-to-5. Working does not mean having a white-collar job. No, it means she was busy on her purpose. She was working. She was focused. That is how he meets you. A man is supposed to meet you having something that's your life is not, you're not just sitting there helpless. There's a difference between being lonely and being alone. A man is supposed to meet you alone, not lonely. Because lonely is a way of meeting you in a place of desperation. You're not in a place of anxiety or desperation. You're in a place of being fulfilled and accompanied with your own self. And this other person is just coming for you to work together. He's not coming to complete you. He's coming to be part of you. You are just working together side by side. So what I just want to say is, find your purpose. Get a skill. Learn a job. Learn a language. Do something. It's going to make you glow. It's going to take you off that place of worry. You're just going to be interesting. It's not going to be like, oh, you're just there. Oh God, I need a man. You're fasting. Oh, this crusade for finding a husband. You're there 7 days, 10 days, 12 days. You're sowing seeds. Everything in your life is about finding a man. No, you don't want to be in that place. You want to be in that place of it's not like I'm saying there are no moments that you will feel like, oh, like, okay, God, what am I up to? No, you have those moments. But in those moments, those things, your worth is going to remind you to keep going. So it's not going to be like anything that comes. Okay, you were wanting somebody who is God-fearing, who you can both align spiritually, and then now you just see one guy, the guy just follows you to church, and you're just like, oh, maybe that's a man. No, that's not what I'm talking about. So it's important for a man to meet you in a place of purpose. Before my husband met me, I was like, everything was not figured out. I had nothing in my account per se, but I knew what I knew what I wanted. I knew I was for impact. I knew. So when he came, I knew that was what I wanted, because he had a way he just fit in the puzzle. I don't even understand. For example, you are into a public scene and you're already busy, you're already productive, and then now you now meet this man who comes and tell you, my wife cannot be a public person, she cannot do those things. You already know definitely that this is a red light, this guy is not for you. But you see sometimes women say things like, oh, I've changed. Nobody changed. The thing is, he met you when you had not cultivated yourself. So now he's now seeing those things that are a threat to him. So be cultivated. So when he's coming, he may not come for the final product, but he comes like a prototype of what you're seeking or becoming. I think that makes sense. So guys, I'm so excited. Like, I'm talking and a lot of emotions are going on in my mind, because this seems like yesterday, but at that point it felt like forever. So the first thing I'll be talking about in this episode is finding yourself, knowing who you are, your identity in God, your strengths and your weaknesses. I'm really getting emotional, guys. Like, I don't know. And just trust God, trust yourself that you deserve the best. And always have in mind that because something is good, it definitely doesn't mean it's great for you. So you want what is great. There is a perfect will of God, there is a passive will of God, and there is a permissible will of God. So you want to walk in his perfect will. And remember, it is said in the Bible that if you trust in the Lord, he will order your steps. If you don't lean on your own understanding, his wisdom is going to be like a shining light onto your path. So until next time, I'm your girl Brenda Kimbi. If you saw anything interesting in this video, if you learned a thing or two, if there is something you're going to add, just drop it in the comment section. We are having a dialogue and not a monologue. Until next time, keep raising the bar. Please do not forget to subscribe. The subscribe button is somewhere down here or this way, and also you can also binge watch my other videos. And do not forget, the next episode will be coming up and I'll be sharing another tea. Like, the next episode is what everybody talks about. That is what I'll be sharing in the next episode. Until next time, bye bye.